Hello, everybody. Good morning. I would like to thank Eurometal and all other sponsors for giving us this opportunity. While listening to the speeches, Mr. Tayfun and Alexander actually has made a great summary, and Mr. Hakan also shared the figures. So it was a great summary actually. In my own presentation, yes, I also have numbers. Well, very shortly, let me introduce Tatçelik, and then I'll give information about the steel production in Turkey, and I'll share my own ideas about the green transformation. Let's start with Tatçelik. We employ more than 600 people. We especially work on the cold rolled sheet and as well galvanized sheets. Well, we are present in the Black Sea coast in the city of Zonguldak. We have to still actually manufacturing facilities. Our headquarters located in Istanbul, and we have a sales office in Bursa city. So here you see our main facility. We have our manufacturing facility in Ereğli city in the Black Sea coast. Our total production capacity is 1.5 million ton. And we have 2,000 square meter of space. You see a photo of our factory. If we think of the capacity for the acetic and the flat, it is 1.5 million ton. For the galvanized, it is 800,000 tons. We have commissioned the new galvanized line, and we will add an additional 650 tons for the new line. And also up to 4 ml, we will have the opportunity of making the coating. This is good, and it is wider than 1,600 mm. So for the pre-painted steel, it is 200,000 tons, and there is no changes in here. So it is. We are a growing actually brand. We used to just produce 500,000, but in 2022, for example, we exceeded 1.5 million, and for 2021, our turnover actually was ranked as one of the biggest companies in Turkey. In the top 31, our company was ranked in 2021. So we export to more than 70 countries. You can see the regions. Last year, well, our export ratio was around 40 and 50. However, this year it will be around 60%. Especially export is a requirement, as a need, we know it. And also we have the lowest dumping ratio, which is 2.4%. And about the dumping, well, we are ranked as well the best and the number one of the sector in some other countries, that we have equal competition conditions related to the dumping. So thank you very much to all logistic team for this. In 2021, we were ranked as the second best company for the coated steel, and we were ranked as the number one in 2022 and 2023, and as well 2024. According to the presumptions, it looks like we're going to be the first and the best for the coated steel, and our pre-estimation for 25 and 26 are as well the best place. So our power is getting better for the export. With this power that we get, and for the galvanized and for the pre-painted, yes, our export ratios have increased, doubled, almost doubled for both of them. And this is the power of Tatmetal. And the same ratios and the percentages are going to increase after our investment, I believe. Next to our investment, yes, we also keep investing in green energy. All the roofs, for example, of a Tatmetal, as you might see, well, it is 70,000 square meter the space that we have installed solar panels, and also we have commissioned a new area of 13 million kilowatts of solar power. Last year, we supplied the solar energy at around 80%. Our purpose is to make it 100%. And moreover, we would like to just compensate as well the electricity, and that's why we have invested 60 million euro for the wind turbines. So we will produce 200 million kilo per hour. As Mr. Alexander has said, yes, about the scrap and about the green energy, not only in Europe, but also in the world. Yes, this is the best actually manufacturing format. And if you as well add the green transformation, and if you just turn the products into the galvanized, well, it looks like we are going to complete the whole life circle, which is the best option for European countries. If you are to look at the crude steel production, well, if we are to look at the past, to the history, yes, we see there is an increase in demand for the steel, and after the end of the world wars, we see as well actually an increase. This is a half graphic, just shows all these improvements according to as well the worldwide events. And after the petroleum crisis of 1970, it looks as if it was a little bit flat, but then we also observe another increase. So we say that steel is always actually a searched product. It can be processed. However, China has created an important change. People who have been processing the steel for many years and creating added value were stopped by China because of the exaggerated demand. And this demand was shifted to the producers of the elements and coal. China was growing back then, very importantly, and the world was as well growing. So within the 25 years, the growth rate was around like 30%. And the steel growth is non-stop going in the last 125 years. And as well, our world population is increasing. There is the population growth by continent. 1 billion is expected to come from Africa, and 500 million is expected to come from Asia, and the rest is from the other continents total. And here, another issue, which is India. India, for the first time, by population, surpassed China's population. And India's population is predicted to be the number one in the coming years. And in terms of the steel consumption, kilogram per capita consumption was really low. Now there is a growing population, and this is going to trigger probably the steel manufacturing. And last year, after last year's meeting, our European friends and the colleagues declared actually something new. Well, I found it a little bit meaningless though. For India, Middle East, and Europe. Business actually cooperation and collaboration was mentioned. This is the roadmap you see from the port to the train, from train to Israel, and again via the port to Italy and Germany and France. This is the journey, the map of the journey. I don't know if the problem of the Suez Channel was back then was a problem or not, I don't know. Well, our European friends are here now in the meeting, so that's why actually I'm talking about this, because just next to it we see just one ship you can access, which is Turkey. You don't have to bother yourself that much, you know, it is too much trouble. Instead of too much trouble, you can just pick Turkey. You can just upload your goods into one ship and that's it. Anyways, this is the Indian production estimation. We see that production is up to 140 million. On contrary to us, they're actually per capita still consumption is getting higher and higher. If I take into account all these actual improvements, which is the population increase and the higher actual consumption of the steel, so what I expect is that even if there's a growth of 0.8, I think that in 2050, the consumption is expected to be 400,000 tons. While growing, you have to transform yourself. For the growth, green carbon dioxide release, you have to decrease it. For a transformation, what is striking the most is the scrap trade. And here you see that the scrap trade volume is 100 million, and half of it is circulating within Europe. And the rest is in the world circulating. It is around maybe 70 million tons, and Europe is exporting 20 million of it. USA is exporting 18 million of it. UK is exporting 8 million, and Japan 7 million, and Canada so 5 million. So Mr. Typhoon has talked about incentives and investments. These are just the news of last week, by the way. These are not confidential. Europe is spending sources for this. What I mean is that 20 million tons of scrap, which is coming from the EU and from the UK, probably will actually block the sector for us. So this is the expectation, but this is not the case maybe exactly for the USA. However, right after hearing our distinguished speaker's speech about the USA, that might be also an expectation for the USA. So the only country which is left is Japan. I visited Japan last month and I talked to the manufacturers there, and this is 7 million surplus. While within the coming 7 years, while they will turn these products to the flat products. They are now making a plan and a project on this. So I think that we shouldn't really depend on the scrap as Turkey. We shouldn't do it. Yes, there are some advantages. However, about the supply of the scrap, I have some serious concerns. That's why I'm sharing this slide. And here you see the data of Turkey. Our population is growing. We have exceeded 85 million. So our export exceeded $25 trillion. Now, hopefully, we will see higher figures. We here see that we are ranked as the 8th country. So these are some other graphs. Our production for the flat is flat. However, our consumption is up to 20 million, which means that we have a gap of 6 million. Of course, if you are to look at the balance of export and import, the import is around like 10 million. So I believe that we will normalize the situation more in the coming years. And here you see the hot hot sheet and galvanized sheet figures. And if we are to look at the import, yes, there is an increase. Galvanized products, so we reached to the 1 million. You see the capacities. So for the painted as well as steel sheet, we do import for the hot. Actually, it is 3.5 million. So let's see the situation in the EU. Turkey's export to the EU in the last 5 years for the hot products just dropped to 600,000 tons for the galvanized. We unfortunately dropped to 300,000 for the painted. It is under 100,000 tons, and for the cold products, the figures are not good. So what do we import from the EU as Turkey? This is the result of the anti-dumping. There is less and less entry from the EU for the painted, galvanized, and cold sheet. There is not a drop, but there is an increase. The reason why is the earthquake of 2023 and as well the production growth of the country. However, when we look at the import of the EU on the right side of the graph, I don't see many changes. Personally, for the galvanized, for example, it looks like Turkey is outside a little bit. The figures hopefully will be better soon. About the prices, I have 2 comments. So I've talked about the limited capacity effect. When there are some attacks, the prices are increasing more than the foreign countries. You see the peak periods such as earthquake, war, or over demand. These are impacting Turkey, and they increase actually more than the foreign countries. The import tax actually increased from 6 to 13, and this blue and yellow actually lines were closer to one another before, but after the May 2023, the internal market prices and external market prices are very close to one another. They are very close. Almost the same, and it is impacting, of course, our export power, unfortunately. Last year, we have talked about the future. We have said that if you purchase, for example, goods on the last week of November, of course, you can as well make your estimations accordingly. For the flat steel, the coming 3 or 4 months, yes, you can make money. This is what the estimations says normally, and the same circle is happening again. So starting from the month of November, actually it started a few weeks before this year. Within a few months, you could make money maybe around like the level of $700. Ahmed, you are smiling. Probably also did the same thing, right? So what do we expect for the middle to long term? Scrap will be more valuable. For iron and coal, we will see price normalization. And for the steel commerce, probably the roads will change a little bit and they will be localized. And if we look at the short-term expectations, while it did not snow much though, however, the summer is about to start, and as well, there is an expectation of the interest rate decrease, and furthermore, there are some new and postponed projects. And about the green energy, yes, the investments are ongoing, and the steel is being consumed majorly by the EU and Turkey. And in the short term, coal and iron ore prices will be normalized. And for the energy, the cost as well will be normalized. And in the background of all these expectations, there are the expectations of the normalization for the coming months. I believe that after the middle of the third quarter, the demand will be powered for the iron and steel, and the prices will go higher. This is what I expect for the middle of the third quarter. I can receive your questions if you do have any. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there any question for Ayhan? Well, maybe I can ask the first question. About the carbon on the border adjustment issue. Well, yes, you do invest a lot. And on the other hand, there is an investigation of anti-dumping against the hot sheet. There's an investigation against four countries. What's your expectation about that investigation? Would it impact you? Would it change the markets? A very challenging question. The anti-dumping result, what would be the outcome? I don't know. The state actually will study it. If there is a dumping, I think that the dumping march there should be for these countries, and I think that it can be for China. As a result of that, the dumping margin, when the taxes increase, by the way, just think of the cheapest steel price worldwide, and as well the local price. And if this difference is $100, and if you add the dumping on the top of it, then this actual difference can get bigger. In the USA, yes, there are protection as well precautions, and they do invest in the steel, the USA, and the results are positive for the USA. And in Turkey, I believe that the outcomes will be positive as well. However, there is one danger. When the taxes are increasing, the products, final products, their actually production are as well increasing. Their import can be the case then. In Turkey, we have 7 million galvanized manufacturing capacity, and it is expected to be 8.5 million very soon, just to use it for the internal and external markets. If this is the change expected, just think of China and as well other countries such as Korea. If we start receiving competitive products, then this investment unfortunately will fall down, and it will increase the import, and the countries such as ours will less demand from the companies that are producing the hot products. So it is like a negative impact, unfortunately, indirectly. I think that it should be evaluated very well. If this is the result of the dumping, it can indirectly impact. We are preparing for this as Tatçelik, and also for the final downstream products. If there are some similar dumpings, yes, we would like to prevent it so that the markets will be healthier. Yes, the frame should be enlarged. Otherwise, yes, it aims to protect us. Unfortunately, will narrow down our market capacity, unfortunately. More questions?
You mentioned you see a recovery in demand or of the economy in the further development of this year. Is this based on the potentially decreasing interest rates, or what are the factors that you are taking into consideration for the improvement?
Yeah, there are some. Maybe in my presentation, I informed six different subjects. One is the summer is coming, everybody will not go to holiday. Then our studies or works in the north part of the world will increase. That is one. Second is the ongoing project, postponed project will restart again. The green energy investment will going very strongly, and these will be, as you said, triggered by the inflation, interest rate decrease. One of them is this, and after our election. We have an election again in March, a local election, and after that, I mean, the currency and Turkish economy will be stabilized more, as Hakan Bey said, and then there will be more investment, then more liquid money on the ground. They have, even İş Bankası has $2.4 billion. We were going to invest. We will take all those monies and invest, and all those investment will be done by the steel, and interest rate will be very, very low, I believe. They are always supportive. Those are the main reasons. And also, what I see, China in near future, I expect some new news from the China, because you remember in 2015 when the Chinese export reached to 110 million tons, then Chinese government takes some precautions about the VAT and etc. Now they exported around again 90 million tons, 90, and they will have to make some new precautions for the coming days. Maybe they will ban the slab export or billet export, or they will decrease the VAT ratio again. They have to do something, because their price level for the whole country, I mean for export, is very limited, and they are not making money. And then I believe Chinese government will not allow to steel producers bring all iron ore from Australia and Brazil and produce and pollute environment in China and ship without earning anything to the rest of the globe. That is my perspective, and this is also seasonal effect. As like in the November, if you buy some November, then you will earn money, and if you buy in the after August, then you will do again good money, and good investment will come, I believe.
Teşekkürler. Başka soru var mı?
Are there any other questions? Yes, please. We spoke about the United States. Now, the steel manufacturers in the United States, their success is not only limited with 25% imposed by the state. Liquid steel manufacturing is limited only to be located in the US, Melton, USA. So nothing, no flat product is going to be bought from imports can be used in the state project. So this has been a great support to the manufacturers there. So the prices has reached to $600 out of America, the United States, but it has reached to 1,200 in the United States, and this has been reflected on their prices, and they kept their domestic consumption live to support their state projects. This has been a great benefit. That's what I wanted to remind you of that. I hope it's going to be the same for Turkey. I hope Turkey steel will be used for every project of the government here in Turkey, as well as a big wish. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you. Thank you very much.